Melalui laman UNESCO.org, UNESCO mengumumkan jika status Global Geopark harus divalidasi ulang setiap 4 tahun untuk memastikan kualitas suatu kawasan. Dari validasi ulang ini, UNESCO memberi kartu hijau ke 29 destinasi dan kartu kuning ke 5 destinasi, salah satunya Danau Toba. Danau Toba diberi kartu kuning karena minimnya aksi yang dilakukan pengelola Toba Kaldera UNESCO Global Geopark Provinsi Sumatera Utara. Pengelola diminta untuk memenuhi standar UNESCO dalam waktu 2 tahun setelah kartu kuning diberikan. Jika tidak tercapai, UNESCO akan memberikan kartu merah yang artinya status Global Geopark Danau Toba dicabut.
My name is Memperjuangkan. I'm a member of Parliament of Indonesia from Democrat political party. That's the chairman now is the son of President SBY, and I'm a former Secretary General of Democrat Party with the Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono as a chairman in that time. Today I'm coming here as a member of parliament because I come from North Sumatra, Lake Toba, especially Simalungun, Dairi, Karo, and Pakpak Barat. But every month, monthly, I spend my time go to Samosir Island, especially on Lake Toba. We call Gunung Pusubuit or Gunung Toba, Toba Mountain. Then we have small communities there. It's already 15 years ago, and we call Rumahela. So today we are coming here to discuss to all of you in UNESCO because we care about Geopark Caldera Toba. A very small history. Actually, President SBY and I proposed this first as a Geopark National Caldera Toba, as in the national level, 2013, 2014, something like that. Then we support, and then thank you to UNESCO because of 4th of July, if I don't mistake, 2020, that Geopark Caldera Toba to become like global network of UNESCO. So thank you very much. But then we hear the news that we have a yellow card. So I have to strive forward. Then we are very worried about that because every day we are there to create the geodiversity, biodiversity, especially culture diversity. And every year, especially on July, we have a big festival that we call Festival Wisata Edukasi Leluhur Batak, means Education Culture Festival as our answer to the Batak people, something like that. But because of maybe UNESCO doesn't know about this community, so we never. That I try to follow UNESCO website. There is no mention about Rumahela, I mean our community. So that's why now we come to inform all of you that actually we are the gold but never seen by UNESCO. So then we hope that yellow card will become green card again. That's our mission. Come to you all. Now, so this is that I want to inform you first. That is already 10 years we did, and then we invite all of you to come join with this festival because no one from UNESCO knows about this. So we call this and already start 31st of May, 3 weeks ago. So this is, I think, this is the site of the east of Lake Toba from the Gunung Toba that we already built that since 4 years ago. And this is about 2,000 people come pray together. This one. Okay, then this year we'll continue again. It was like then this is the pillar. And it's very interesting that you have to know the main pillars of our activity. Yeah. Praise the Lord, your God, honor your ancestor, and cherish your culture. That's the first. The second is whoever wholeheartedly respect their ancestor is at the same time preparing themselves to become ancestor for the generation to come. Okay, so then number 3 is about the Geopark. The vast expanse of the Toba Caldera Geopark from Uluan Darat Sakti means the very high mountain we call Uluan Darat Sakti. Pusubuhit means that Gunung Toba. Bania Raja is another mountain, pre-mountain, to all the landscapes embarrassing Tau Toba, Lake Toba. Embracing Tau Toba is a sacred earthly garden, a glimpse of Luat Nauli Mutik Nisurgo, a heavenly beauty entrusted to the land of Batak. This is our philosophy that to go this. If you see the picture, this is Pikisyanipar. 31st of May, we have a like called Tonggoraja, the first meeting in this one. Okay. Teruskan ya. This is the event. Every year. Okay. And it will become, I think UNESCO, we are very honored to invite UNESCO come and join with this.
Sorry, which location is this?
Samosir.
Okay.
And the Lake Toba, and then Gunung Toba, Toba Mountain. And at the 7 and 8, the governor of North Sumatra will come, and also all the 7 bupati from the area, mayor of area, that the UNESCO mentioned there is no good relationship between pusat, daerah, and care about this. Then we invite them, come and join us, because
that was an observation 2018.
Yeah, yellow card already in your pocket, and tomorrow morning maybe will be the red card. Okay, this is the event. Now, this is the point actually, that we will like to invite you. We find out, we call the old story never known before. We call Rumahela. So this is the contemplation and hope. This is the space for responding to UNESCO's yellow card for the Toba Caldera Geopark. We hope this to answer Guy Martini. We call, I think Guy Martini is the assessor. And then, so, okay, we are not extraordinary. We simply did not give up. Just, I mean, we are all here do this, and then over there, it is we call like the situs, like the site, a very historical site, more than 100 years or 1,000 years ago, never known. So 2010, we find out this site. Yeah. Okay, Slow step head planting. That is what loyalty looks like. UNESCO and rumah and the house of Batak. Okay, then terus. We plant more than 100,000 trees there, but sometimes, especially last night, burned by fire. You know that the Lake Toba, Gunung Toba. Terus, we pray together here because all of us are Catholic, so we are very close to the forest, to the site. The issue is the industry there. Yeah. So we call those who have benefit. Now it's time to repair. Social and environmental remedies are the middle path, not to repay the past, but to save the future. Okay, because now it's very hard issue now this year. Close the industry, something like that. Close. Okay, this is that we call Geopark, geology, biology, completely in the Rumahela site. And we ask you to come and sit, put the geosite of Pusubuhit as actually right in this area. That one, we call that, calling the water, this is the chairman, we call the water from more 136 places, include Pelabuhan Ratu in Jawa Barat, and bring the water to come to join, because we believe that the water is the home of our father. So we call the water to come together. As more than 136 places from Aceh, from also Jawa Barat, and others. So the main point is ecology is the trust form of fishing. Yes, we believe this because we don't have any trees there, and then we no hope for the environmental truth. That one is ecology. That's we find out it. More than 740 years ago, that when super volcano burned in Toba mountain, it's only one. More than hundreds. Geology is very huge there. It's never seen by UNESCO team before. Maybe they don't know, because in that time it's like a forest. Nobody come there, and then we try to find out. Now it's already very good for us also. So we are not masters of the earth, only guests who must remain humble. So let's collaboration, something like that. Okay, that's one. That's the house, the big house. It's already 2010, but now it's very nice, with the town, with the very good. That is the site. This is the site of the son number 2 of the Raja Batak, the Batak king. Until today, everybody just know the place only Cianjur Mula-Mula, the first son of Raja Batak. So this one never know. We just know start 2010. So 15 years already we start to build, to maintain that. Okay, you see this? That's the home. It's already we built 4 years ago. 4 years ago, and very good view to know Lake Toba. We call that a tribune, the very famous tribune to show the Lake Toba. And that one, as the black, white, and red stone, we know that our people long times ago prayer in that stone. We call batu untuk berdoa. So we call make a prayer there. Terus. So let's collaborate to save the earth. That's our main issue. Now, I hope that our information comes to you all. Then before the assessor come, we ready to inform whatever you want to know. That's my point first. Maybe this young man will inform. I mean, that when I saw the UNESCO website, so many the youth people there. And this is our hope because of the youth people. So in our community, so it's very young people join together. So give us a little bit time. Kaisar, you want to add?
I'm just adding a few things about our festival.
Sorry, you said this is since when?
2013.
15.
We already done from 2013.
Annually.
We found the site from the 2010.
Okay, yes.
We built something that we need to do the festival. Then we gradually start the festival from 2013. Do exactly from 2013 until this year. In 2018, we made the biggest, maybe the biggest Catholic prayer in our site, in our secretary site. We call it Huta Pangondian Simulo, which is in the, we call it belt of the mountain, the middle height of the mountain. We call it Huta Pangondian Simulo. That's our secretary site for maintaining the Rumah Hela. In 2018, we invite the Uskup Agung, kita bilang Uskup Agung, Uskup Agung Medan, the highest priest from Catholic in Sumatera Utara, in North Sumatra. We call it to lead us to pray from the Catholic side in Huta Pangondian Simulo in 2018. In 2019, we have a team that called full of friendship from all the kids around the world. We have that team. That's the team for 2019. In 2020, we know because of the COVID, we cannot do anything. We can do any festival, outside the house. We cannot do, but we gradually do from our each house. So we do the spiritual thing that we do before 2020. In 2021, this is the start of the biggest thing that we do in our festival. Samosir, Luat Nauli Mutuk Niswa. The heaven starts from Batak.
Doesn't look like that, yeah.
Because the heaven not always look nice, but always comfortable. That's our belief that Samosir is the beginning heaven from the earth. I would like to invite. My father has already invited all, but I personally really want to invite you to come to join us. Especially you, Maki, you are the chairman. You can come to join us, and we will provide you with the information things that if you come to our festival. I think the only ethnic that we will not disappear because we have things that we do with our ancestors. I'm Panjaitan. My father Panjaitan. If I have a son, my son is also Panjaitan. So the culture will never end. His Yanipar, his Simbolon, his Regar, that's never end. Our Batak culture will never end because of we call it Marga. Bring us back to green card so we can show you the great culture of Batak and the many great things from the Batak.
My name is Vicky Janipar. Unlike my two brothers and others, I'm professional musician since I was born. That's the only thing I can do. I joined this community called Rumah Hela 2020 with no invitation. With weird story, I call it spiritual calling. And this same story happened to all our friends in this community. There are like 2,000 plus people. Exactly the same story. Some of them came from dream, me came from my job, and maybe I was representing millions of Batak young generation who has already being born in Jakarta like I do.
Oh.
I already being born in Jakarta. Yeah. Have,
Studying outside,
yeah.
working outside, yeah.
Have never experienced lived in a village in the Toba. But after the calling, all of a sudden, everything was answered about my life, because in this community, communication with the ancestor is possible, being possible. Yeah, we were very happy. People start to come, and not only Indonesian who got the calling. Some of them from China, from Poland, from Java, not only Batak. So that's what I hope. Yeah, we can work together, and we next we would like to hear from you. Are we facing the right way doing this, or maybe you have the suggestion to change your heart, maybe to be a Democrat? Thank you.
Okay.
But first of all, I really thank you for the presentation and all the details. I mean, of course, I know Toba Lake as a Geopark, UNESCO designated site, and from that perspective, I didn't know. I haven't had the chance to go and visit your site, your community yet, and of course I know about the yellow card and so on, but beyond that I really didn't have much knowledge and information myself, so this has been really educational at the same time, so thank you very much. The reason I said, like, if it all depended on our hearts, it would have been much easier, because of course the Geopark, you know, the UNESCO designated sites it's not really the UNESCO Secretariat's engagement. I mean, we are not the ones who select, evaluate, review, give you the card or not. It's not depending on us. We are secretariat, so we facilitate, but this is actually under the council. We call it the council, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is an external body to us. I was going through the recommendation that was made in 2023, so that's already 2 years ago. The evaluators are coming in July, who are also independent, and we do not, I don't know them actually at all. We don't know them at all, right? So we don't know actually. We're just giving them information they're coming. And the other day I was even interviewed by one of the media outlets, you know, Detik.com. What does this mean? And of course, when you say yellow card like this, I think people think it's like a football. It's very bad. But I was trying to also explain that no, yellow card doesn't mean always that's completely bad. Huh? It's just a little bit of recommendation that things may need to be improved, because the original submission probably we're going back forward and see how things are improving. Usually, once it's designated, we only expect to see things improved and getting better. But then, of course, the evaluators may come and see some small things. And I guess once you're designated, of course, the public eye, the expert eye becomes more stricter, right? Yeah. And I think it's also because there's a lot of expectations and hopes that the Geopark is going to contribute a lot, not to your own identity, your own culture, your own way of living, but also for the public, the outsiders to also appreciate together, and it has to work, mutually. Yeah. So I guess it's tough, once you become a designated site. We always say that to both the cultural heritage and natural heritage sites. Once you become a designated site, it is not the end of the story. That is actually the beginning of the toughest part of being a designated site, because you have to maintain what you have promised and you kept, and you have to even improve beyond that. It's like students going to a very high-end school, and then they have to study so hard to enter the school, and then you still have to keep up with academic to keep your parents' expectations and things. So it's not easy. But I would also say that and my colleagues are much better. They're my experts here from science and culture as well, and probably the least knowledgeable person here. But I do think that since 2 years things have changed. One of the challenge for and I think has to be made clear to the external evaluator when they come is that your governance has also changed. Yeah, and also as a country, last year we have a new authority, right? You have a new government, so things have changed, and I think that kind of transitioning period has to also be taken into account, which has to be explained to the evaluators and how things are being adjusted and along and in the positive direction, of course. Yeah. The limitation for us at the Secretariat, though we cannot really say anything to the evaluators if we don't know them, we cannot make any recommendation back to your government, either local, governance. It would be a complete conflict of interest for us. We can of course listen to you, but we won't be able to, send back the message. We can explain and clarify the situation, like I did to the comms, like what yellow card mean, what does it mean after this, if it goes back to green or red, or what happens if it's red. So these are procedural matters that we can of course explain. But other than that, we are a bit tied, in the hands. At the same time, I feel my colleagues may also agree or disagree, but over the 2 years, I see that there's been already a lot of efforts being made, especially at your level, because I see one of the main concern from the evaluation last time is really the complete turnover of the management of the geosite, the management body, which is probably beyond you, right? It's actually depending on the local government to take care of the geopark once it's done. So it's really, in the end, it is a government issue. The local government issue. So no matter how the communities are trying their best, if it's not communicated back to your government, then your government authorities will not be able to mention and explain that to the evaluators or to the council. And I think that would be more important. What you have done to, you have presented to us is something you need to present to your government for the government to be able to present that to the evaluators.
Okay.
They have not been back for 2 years, so they don't know what happened, what kind of effort has been taking place. But I think what is happening to the management body, do you know?
They're new.
They're completely new, yes?
Really new.
So I think one of the things that I do remember when I was also briefed by my colleagues when I was facing the interview, that this management team has completely renewed, so they're new. So they also need a lot of capacity building, they need more knowledge and how to maintain and manage a geopark. And I believe several offers have been also made to support them to improve and strengthen the capacity in doing so. So that's something that, of course, it's not for us to say, but I think the new management office have to show their commitment that they are ready to strengthen the capacity, knowledge, the skills to manage well, and then also interact and communicate with the community and the people who are actually living there to work together. Also, I think they're more of a scientific recommendations as well, like the geological storytelling, the basement rock. These are really beyond me because I don't come from science. Some of even the words related to geological sites, are a bit alien to me. But I believe that there's also scientific evidence of improvement has to be made, and at the same time, cultural part as well. So how are they also brought together? Because one of the key features of Geopark is really bringing the scientific, the geological uniqueness of the site, plus the community, the cultural aspect of it, maybe history, background. All these things come together, and it's really a very special site, Geopark. To me, it's even more special sometimes than, the physical culture heritage. Yeah. But because maintaining it requires much more of the community involvement, right? And the physical or heritage sites are very much a government issue, because like Borobudur, it's just too big for people just to maintain alone. And I cannot really comment on the scientific recommendations that are being made. Maybe visibility is something that you are now already doing with these festivals and so on. So I think there's some improvements being made. And networking and training is very important because we need to have a very well capacitated management team. And I think that the community can also help on that as well. But let me ask my colleagues who may have more knowledge on how this may unfold. As I said, we don't have much that we can offer, but
first of all, once again, thank you very much for your visit.
again.
Thank you very much for expressing your concerns. We fully share. But as Director Maki explained, first of all, this doesn't reflect the reality because the expert doesn't wear a UNESCO shirt. This is an independent external evaluator, and UNESCO has no say over what the expert will decide.
Okay.
So this is unfortunately misguiding the civil
okay.
society.
Okay.
It doesn't have anything
Never,
to do with
yeah.
UNESCO. Exactly. So it's. I mean, first I wanted to highlight this point so that everybody is clear.
Yes.
We are always, just like you, Pa. We are always ready to listen. We are always ready to discuss.
Okay.
But the decision doesn't rest with UNESCO.
Okay.
It's the decision. It's the recommendation of the two independent experts, and those independent experts, they share their findings with the Global Geoparks Council. And the Geoparks Council is composed of 12 member states. It is them who evaluate the findings of the external evaluators and then decide whether yellow card can be abolished, everything goes back to green, or unfortunately, undesirably, yellow card becomes red card. Now, from your presentations, it's clear that you as a community, as well as the new politicians, local leaders, they are doing their utmost best. We take note of that with great pleasure.
Thank you.
But what is important is to be able to demonstrate that to the external evaluators
Yes.
who will soon come. They will have a number of questions. They will go to the site directly to see with their own eyes what has happened since the yellow card was given.
Okay.
Has anything changed positively? Statu quo, nothing has changed, or the things got even worse. So it is up to them to judge. These are competent professionals.
Okay.
These are not politicians, these are not diplomats, these are well-trained geologists, geological engineers with years and years of experience in management, in establishment, in protection of the global geoparks. So these are the people who have the experience, knowledge and background who can judge with full openness what is happening at the geopark. And then they take their decisions accordingly.
Okay.
Now, this is what I wanted to share with you at the outset.
Okay.
The second thing, global geoparks, biosphere reserves, World Heritage sites, these are UNESCO designated areas. So as you can, if you can please go back. Yes, you see that those 3 UNESCO designated sites, they are all over the world. For example, I'm looking at the latest statistics. Geoparks, there are now 229 geoparks in 50 countries around the world. And 12 of those geoparks are based in Indonesia. In fact, when it comes to geoparks, Indonesia is among the leaders in the region. So you are the role model for all the other member states in Southeast Asia, and if I might say in ASEAN. Those countries are looking up to you. They would probably like to learn from your experience, because some of the geoparks established in Indonesia, those go back to 1990s. These are quite old and well-established geoparks. So what Indonesia does in terms of management of geoparks, it's important for the country, for Indonesia, as well as for the other countries in the region. So this is not to put more pressure on your shoulders, but just to give you the perspective from UNESCO's side.
Okay.
Now, as I mentioned earlier, there are 3 different kinds of UNESCO designated sites, and geoparks, global geoparks, is only one of them. And when people hear about geoparks, clearly I'm not talking about you because you have the best understanding of what a geopark is. Geopark is not only geological entity. Geopark is a living entity. Geopark is alive. It's not only rocks, it's also Mother Nature, it's also culture, it's indigenous and local knowledge systems. These are all parts of the geoparks. Before a geopark is designated, the experts, they go through a long list of checklists to see if the global geopark meets the requirements. So Toba Caldera, when it was designated as a global geopark in 2020, it already went through an exhaustive evaluation. But as my director Maki-san highlighted, it's not only the designation. To continue pushing the envelope to improve the geopark. I appreciate Toba Caldera as much as you do. And to be able to do that, there needs to be some criteria respected. For example, I'm looking at the message that was sent by the evaluators to the Toba Caldera management team. And they raised 4 flags. Geological heritage and interpretation. In simple terms, a global geopark needs to contain a number of attractions. Imagine you're going to Disneyland. In Disneyland, there is not only one attraction, there are 20 of them. This was probably a bad example, but just to be able to illustrate, a local or an international tourist, when they visit Toba Caldera, they need to be able to see the rich geological heritage. And clearly, the experts raised the flag that not the full potential of the geopark was highlighted. There is still potential for geopark to improve, to provide more to the visitors. This was one of the issues. Other heritage, in fact, this is what you highlighted. A geopark is not only a pieces of rock. This is just the tip of the iceberg. But what is important is to be able to highlight the cultural heritage, the history, the traditions, how the local people are dealing with the disaster risk reduction, biodiversity, protection of water resources. These are the things. Again, probably you know this like the palm of your hand, but the visitors, they need to be informed about this. There need to be posters explaining what is being done. So visibility and partnerships. Don't take Toba Caldera in a vacuum. Toba Caldera is one of the 12 geoparks in Indonesia and one of the 229 geoparks in the world. What you know, your experience in Toba Caldera needs to be shared with other geoparks in Indonesia, also in Southeast Asia. This was another flag that they raised. You might be doing well, but unless you share your knowledge, unless you discuss your problems, challenges with other geoparks, you cannot improve the things. So to be able to make progress, they suggested that you enlarge your network. So all the yellow cards, in fact, these are opportunities for Toba Caldera to become better. So don't take the yellow cards as in the football. You're terrible. I'm about to kick you out. No. Yellow cards to give you good advice. How can you improve the things for the local community, for the Indonesians, for the region, as well as for the global community?